This illustration deals with the types of equipment grounding conductors in accordance with 250.118. Now we know as designers, installers, maintainers, or inspectors that 250.118 deals with providing a grounding scheme, either using metal raceways by themselves, or maybe using a metal raceway with an equipment ground, which is kind of redundant grounding, so to speak, but this would be legal. Now we would reference 310.10 and 310.6. If you review 310.10, then for the equipment ground, 310.10b would refer you to 250.119, say, for color coding or identification. 250.118 now would be used for the grounding scheme that you select. 310.6 is going to refer you to the type of insulations that could be used in dry, damp, wet, or exposed to sunlight situations. Now notice the illustration to the left. Notice it's MC or AC cable to be used. Flexible metal conduit or liquid tight flexible metal conduit, rigid metal conduit or IMC conduit, EMT, PVC, any of those could be used based upon conditions of use. And then notice at the very bottom of the illustration, we show EMT used with an equipment ground, and we have a combination use there. Basically speaking, rule of thumb, during a ground fault condition, 90% of a fault will be pulled over the metal conduit. 10% will be pulled over the equipment grounding conductor, or through it, however you want to say that. But that's with everything installed properly. All tight connections are made and so forth. Now at the very top of the illustration to the right, the following are present types of equipment grounding conductors. And it just talks about rigid metal conduit, intermediate conduit, a rigid non-metallic conduit with an equipment ground, electrical metallic tubing, EMT, cable armor, liquid tight flexible metal conduit, or cable tray, or other metal metal wiring systems that could be used. Our conductors could be copper, aluminum, copper-clad type conductors. So we go to 250.118 for this selection, but we go to 250.119 to determine the color coding or identification of insulation that might be on these equipment grounding conductors. And do not forget, always review 310.6 and 310.10 along with 250.118 and 250.119, and I think you'll get a good feel of this figure 16-108 when providing a grounding scheme.